Hello, my friends. I'm Cher Johnston. Welcome to my happy place. If you're new here, this is where I sit and stitch and sometimes share what I'm doing with you. Please like, share, subscribe, all the things for the algorithm. I'm doing today a beaded, knotted blanket stitch. I don't remember where I saw this. I just thought it was really cool. And I put these dots in here, but they're too close together, so I have to do 1.5 times a dot. So there's the blanket stitch, and I'm gonna pull it very tight. And then I'm gonna go back through and wrap the thread for a knot. So then I pick up a bead and do the blanket stitch. And then pull it nice and tight, and then go through again and go through that loop so that I can make a knot and tie it. Bead, blanket stitch, and then a knot. The thread that I have is from my Sherry Iris kit. Bead, blanket stitch from my Christmas tree Sherry Iris kit, and my beads I shall show you in a moment. Oh no, what did I do? I know what I did. You have to go through like this and pull that tight and remove the Mitzi hair. I know you can't see it, but I can. And then when I go through, I want to go through that to make a knot. Somehow I went through the same way and undid it. These are the beads that I have. Oh my gosh. The little the label is gone, but they are fairly large. They're large enough to get over the needle. This is an embroidery needle. I don't know what size it is. Sorry. Next, I'm going to use these two 760 and 761 to do these these flowers. These are hollyhocks, and this is a buttonhole wheel with a very large center and very deep dark purple and blue pattern that I've drawn in there. I've drawn in some circles, and I did them in blue, and then I did them again in purple because I don't know why, just because. I've been doing twinchies and practicing these flowers because I wanted to do this. This is leftover linen that I have from a thing that I made. And this piece is about 2 inches by maybe 6. I had one 2-inch piece that I cut up into 2-inch squares. I don't have much to say today, so I'll either finish this quietly and fast forward through it, or depending on how much time I end up with, I might cut it all out. I just have to wait and see. But I am going to practice staying on camera. And that's right where we started, so we're going to go to the back and end off. Now you can do French knots here in the center of these, but I like colonial knots. So let me do one slow. You can either take out your phone and take pictures or do a screenshot depending on what device you're on. I'm going to pull this back like a backward C and go back this way. And then I'm going to go around this way and make like a figure 8. Then I'm going to go back into the fabric nearby, at least one thread away from where I came up. Hold the needle from the back and pull through. Again, backward C and a figure 8. And then down to the back, and I'm holding the needle from the back, pulling down, and I'm holding down the thread while I pull through to the back. Again, a backward C, and then this way. The other thing is that you have to have a milliner's needle. It's the same width, same diameter, whatever, from the eye of the needle almost to the tip. I mean, the tip has to be a little bit pointy, you know. But the point is, the eye is not wider than the rest. Okay, I'm going to finish these off camera, and I'll come back to do these daisy stitches. I did one daisy here. I'm going to put in another one. With a detached chain stitch, also known as a lazy daisy. Sorry. I was just thinking, it's nighttime, so I won't have noises. And then someone turned on their air conditioning. And then one of my neighbors opened their garage. And there's a kid out there now. So I drew 4 lines. Also in the pattern, she has 4 lines. So I'm going to do 4 that are equal distant apart. It's easier for them to be the same length and width and everything if you space them out. If you do them one next to each other, it's easy to get longer and longer, or get shorter and shorter, or get thinner and thinner, or, you get what I mean. So now I'm going to go put one in between. The patterns really help as well. I have a circle grid sort of stencil that I use. I think it's an art tool, maybe. An artist tool. Oh, and now there's someone out there taking out their trash. It's trash night. Can't forget. Usually that's my reminder. Take out my trash. I hear the neighbors doing it. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out my trash and then come back in and put more petals in and come back and do the centers. So the white, I don't know what the number was. I don't remember. It's just some white. This is 744 for the yellow. And I have, again, a milliner's needle. And a lot of noise outside. So again, I'm going to do Colonial knots. You could, of course, do French knots if you like, if you prefer them. I would do maybe a 2 or 3 wrap French knot. But I just really like the way the Colonial knots look. And I like doing them. So I'm going to finish these off camera. You don't need to watch me do all of that. And then start on those heart-shaped leaves. All right, it's morning now. And I have DMC Floss 502. I have 2 strands here. So I came up here on the outside edge of my little heart-shaped doobie. And I'm going to go down in the center, and I'm going to use that center point to always go down in there and then come out alongside. Think buttonhole wheel, but with a heart-shaped wheel. Wheels can't be heart-shaped. I know. Now I discovered that if I'm putting my needle back down in the same spot each time. If I pull too much, it's going to make a hole there. I don't want to pull too much. Sometimes works out better if I stab stitch, but I'm not going to try to do that right here, right now, because not very good with the stab stitching on camera. I'm working very hard lately to stay on camera. You'd think I was a brand new YouTuber. Okay. When I get to this point, maybe one more stitch. No, I can do it now. I'm going to take a little stitch, maybe 1 or 2 millimeters. Yes, I'm learning metrics. It's not an eighth of an inch, I don't know. Little teeny tiny stitch out to make a little teeny tiny tail. Then I'm going back in. Do you see? In the center where it would have come out if I hadn't done the little stitch. Then I'm going to continue on. And I haven't quite figured out totally how to do the top of the heart. I looked in her book again and again and again, and most of the photos show stupid airplanes. Most of the photos show blah, 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 flowers on top of the tops of the leaves. So now I'm going to have to stab stitch this. Because maybe that's what makes the hole get too big. Oh, there goes Mitzi. There's birds outside. I know she hears them. I felt like I was saying something and interrupted myself. Oh, the flowers on the tops of the leaves. I think that maybe she does that when they don't when they don't look right. Because that's what I'm gonna do. Like I have 2 here. I don't really like the way that one looks. It's too flat at the top. I don't really know how to fix it. This one I like better, but still, we can still put flowers on top of the tops of those leaves. And now, let's try. See, I'm still learning. Let's try and put this one way down there, really close. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I forget to breathe sometimes, I think. right in where we left off, where we started. All right. And then down to the back. Down to the back. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the back because I'm so happy with it. Look at. Next I have 3687, and because it's been on a card for probably many, many years, I have this Thread Heaven. I'll show you what it is in just a minute. Thread Heaven lasts forever. You can see it's sort of, it cut when you get it, it sort of bulges out the top. Oh my gosh, looks like Mitzi hair in there. Okay, I drew some little lines in there. Wait, there's some lines in here, and then realized that that's probably just pointless. I live sort of close to an airport, and it's not always a problem. I think there's certain times of the day. Okay, this is a detached chain stitch, and I'm going to stab stitch this because I noticed when I did the twinchy that it was easier to get it, I don't know, it's easier to get it to look right when I stab stitched. And I'm going to do just 2 or 3 little groups. When I did the twinchy, okay, I have to get this knot out. If you get a tangle like this, I say it's a tangle because if, as long as you don't pull it, as long as you don't yank on it, it's not a knot. If you yank on it to try to get it to come loose, then it becomes a knot. Oh my gosh. All right, not a knot. Okay. And it's trash day today. So I can hear, I don't know if you can hear it in the background, the trash cans or the trash truck. Next, I'm going to have my neighbor coming out and bringing their cans back up. Oh gosh. Okay, that might be. There goes Mitzi. All right, let's go to the center now. Oh, not having a good day here today, this morning. This is my third or fourth time starting this part. Oh, there's so much thread there that I can't get through to the pack. There we go. It's one thing that the wool mat is good for. All right. I think that perhaps you might not need to watch me do a bunch of lazy daisy stitches, especially since I'm going to dab stitch them all. Now, I'm going to put in on my design, I'll talk for a minute about my design, and dang it, there's another little, sometimes if you pull up on the loop, sometimes, but not always. There we go. But you have to be patient with those tangles because they do turn into knots if you're not careful. You're not careful with the knots. Now, now, I'm putting in all of the large elements first. Putting in the flowers, the hollyhocks and the daisies and these leaves, and I'm going to put in these tiny flowers just because. But if there's spots that are empty, like see that spot right there, that's fine. I'm going to leave that because we have more little flowers. There's more tiny French knot flowers that go in there, that go into the empty spaces. So I may put in the leaves for the hollyhocks next, or I might just put in the you know what, I think I'll put in the roses next. And I can't show you a picture of what she did in the book because it's not, there's a pattern in the book, but there's no picture of the finished thing, you know? Sorry, I just hit the camera. All right. Now there's a baby crying. Okay. I'm going to go and I'm going to decide what to do next. thread. We're doing bullion, not roses. And I have to tell you about a realization that I had. These are milliner's needles. This is a #1 milliner's needle from Sue Spargo. This is a #1 milliner's needle from someone else, Richard Hemming and Son. And I have other milliner's needles, all different sizes. These are size 3 through 9. So the realization that I had is that if I'm using 2 strands of embroidery floss, I might not want to use a #1 milliner's needle, which is what I use for like #8 pearl cotton. And yeah, this is working out better. So in this book, now everyone has different ways of doing bullion, not roses. I rather like this one. She tells you exactly, like, take a 3 to 4 millimeter bite out of the fabric, and then we're going to do 6 wraps, and then we're going to do 2 of these, and then 3 more with I think she said 13 to 17 wraps, and then you do anyways, I'll just show you. But the cool thing that I realized is that it wasn't me, it was the needle that I was using. I was not using the right needle, and I always kind of wondered, why was I sometimes having trouble and sometimes not having trouble. Sometimes they go off without a hitch and they work out really well, and sometimes it was just not just wasn't working. Now we're going to turn to the side, and we're going to put one in thusly, and 15 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I said all that, and then I forgot to tell you. I think this is a #5 milliner's needle. I think I'm still wrapping it a little too tight or something. I don't know. But you all know that I'm still practicing. I've been doing these for years now. I did a book, one of my books that I did in 2015. So it's been 10, 11 years. And I did lots of bullion knots, did lots of colonial knots. I remember that. That was like a lot of fun. But I did lots for the book just to practice. And I'm still practicing and getting better. 1, 2, 3, 15. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, by the way, I'm using DMC floss number 224. And then I'm going to switch and use 948. And these start and end never in the same spot, but always, and they're traveling sort of clockwise around the circle. 2, 3, 4. That one has 16 for no particular reason other than I just got a little carried away. Now this one, I didn't do a twinchy. I started to. I did one flower. And I just got very excited. I thought, I can do this. I don't need more practice. I'm going to just do it. Now, that's the center. Now I'm going to switch to lighter fabric. And by the way, I did find a photo of what I'm doing. It's not exactly what I'm doing, but those are the colors that I'm using. I'm not doing an E, but I'm doing, basically that. Okay, so this is 948. That one was 224. And I'm going to continue to work around clockwise around. I can see a watermark. See that? That's where I put water from my pen to get rid of the blue marks. And I don't know, maybe the fabric is just dirty and made a mark. I don't know. Maybe I'll wash it. Maybe I'll just fill it with embroidery. Can't imagine that my hands were that dirty. But maybe. 2, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Now those seem a little tight to me. Let's loosen them up a bit. Move them down. There we go. Maybe the fabric got dirty when I did whatever it was I did. I used it to make a thing. Oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice? Okay. There we go. And then I want to make sure that that tail is hidden underneath there. Oh my word, these are coming out so nicely. Okay, I feel like you don't really need to watch me do all of these. And I just look to see, I have like 45 minutes already. And unfortunately, I can't upload if it's more than an hour. So cut some out or uh, I used to do a part one and a part two. I don't like that though. But you know, ah, oh yes, that's a nice. Okay, I'm gonna finish these off camera and then come back when we do buds. Here we are, it's morning again, and I have my tea, I have some threads. I did some work on this, and we're going to do some fly stitches. So this bud, I did little 6 wrap bullion knots for those little buds, and I added a couple little teeny stitches there. That's a very Jennifer Clouston thing to do. So that's not in her book. That's not in the Elizabeth book. So, and I'm stab stitching my fly stitches today. There we go. Then in her book, I really like this part because in her book, she does little, that's 3 chain stitches and then 3 back stitches and then a bunch of detached chain stitches. So we're going to do here, because you know roses have little the leaves grow in groups of of 3 and 5. Actually, I think they're just 5, but in my head they're in groups of 3 and 5. Oh, I came here this morning and I thought I should film because there's birds chirping, there's Mitzi's on her little perch. And I thought it'll be really pleasant. Then I have a plain. So this here, I'm going to do a detached chain stitch. Little tiny one. And I'm going to go right into the end of that back stitch. And then let's put 2 more in. Right. 1 right here. Teeny tiny, but not that tiny. This one's just going to have 3 little tiny leaves. There we go. I'm happy with that. Oh, you know what I think I'm going to do? Let's do a little stitch right here, right in there. How about that? Oh, I just made that up. Alrighty, so this thread is DMC. I have, again, 2 strands. And I'm going to knot these in the back because just because this might be flapping out, like it might not be glued down. Okay, I like that. Okay, that was DMC 3346, and then I have DMC 3364. Also 2 strands for this fly stitch leaf. We're going to do one right here. I don't know if you can see my purple mark, but you don't really need to see it. I need to see it. Okay. I'm going to go up on this side of that stitch, and I'm going to hold it there because I'm going to stab stitch this. Going to the back, and then I'm going to come back up to the top. And I'm pulling this direction, and then I'm going to do a stitch to tack that down. And then I'm going to come up right about there. And again, I'm going to hold that and go down here. And then up. Here. And I'm going to pull that direction. Go down there. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear the garbage trucks. I don't know what they are. Garbage day was yesterday. So funny, I sat here for a while this morning course, maybe I just didn't pay attention because I wasn't filming. Actually, I did have the blower guy come by this morning. I always have to close my window here so that he doesn't blow all that crap right in my house. I think we can get one more little fly stitch in there. I think we can. Sometimes I like fold the fabric to get the stitches out of the way so that I can stitch sort of under them. That's what I did with the roses. Look at those roses. Look at, like, I love those so much. I think in the past I haven't done, like, I've done smaller roses in the past. All right. Whoa, that's nice. Now I have to remember too that you can leave some little gaps because we're going to do at the end we're going to put in some other flowers. All right. And I can always put beads in. Oh, I love the beads. Okay, next we're going to do some forget-me-nots. That's what these are, little forget-me-nots. And this has, I put in the centers, I put with this DMC Floss 727. And here I have number 800 on my needle. Not a very long length, huh? Well, I'm just going to show you one, and then I'll put more in, and then come back. So somebody asked me in the comments on a different video today if there's some reason that I use Colonial knots. I just like them. I like the way they look. I think they're fun to do. And I just prefer them. If you like French knots, go for it. Just do French knots. You can do 2-wrap French knots or 3-wrap French knots. I think that a Colonial knot looks about as big or is similar looking to a 2-wrap French knot. I do French knots sometimes, and when we add the last flowers at the end, we're going to scatter some white, I don't know what she calls it, but it's like cow parsley or Queen Anne's lace, something like that. Just little tiny white flowers that are sort of scattered. Whoop. So again, if you want to get out your phone and take a picture or do a screenshot, I will stop so you can do that. So first I'm going to go like a backward C and go this way, and then this direction. And then you have a figure 8 on the needle. I'm going to go put the needle into the back, and then I'm going to hold the back with my thumb and my finger back there and pull it down tight. And then I'm going to hold that down with my thumb while I pull through to the back. Now I have 5 there. You can do 5 or 6. And she says that sometimes she puts in extra little French knots to add movement and interest. You know, those things that artists talk about. I just say, I do stuff because it looks cool. Just looks cool. How cool is that? Oh, okay. Now I'm going to put in more little forget-me-nots and maybe one more of these leaves. And these need to have leaves. Oh, and we're going to do some lavender. So I'll do a little bit more and then come back. And we'll do some lavender. Well, would you look at that? It's really getting filled in there. Okay, I have 647 and 208. I have 2 needles. This one has the green in it, the 647, and then this one has 1 strand of the green and 1 strand of the purple, and this is a milliner's needle, and I think it might be a size 7. It's a teeny tiny, I don't know if you can see how small that eye of that needle is. It's tiny. It's teeny tiny. So I drew in some purple lines there. I think you can see them. I'm going to do some fly stitches, and I'm going to stab stitch them. Such a beautiful morning here today. I think it's only going to be 80 degrees today, which I love. Okay, now the stems are supposed to switch to a stem stitch. So I'm holding the thread to the top there, and then I'm going to take a little stitch backward, and then another little stitch backward. Let's just do one more stitch backward, and then untangle ourselves. And then 1 stitch down there. Now let's start this next stalk with our stem stitch, just because just because I can. When we were kids, we would say, just because I'm big and can. Big enough now. All right. And down to the back there. I'm getting a little close to my edge there. Oh, I could have gone a little further up, but let's just do this. Forgot to make my loop. All right. I'm going backwards from what I usually do. Let's do a sewing method fly stitch because it's easier for me to think with it sometimes. Go down there. A lot of these stitches are going to just disappear. They're going to get lost underneath the bullion knots, like this one. All right. Okay, now bullion knots, and I have shown these to you already. Yeah, when we did the roses. But I'll just show you one or two. I'm going to do 8 wrap bullion knots. And instead of just doing one here, and then one there, and one there, I'm going to do one here, and then I'm going to do one up a little higher. And like over here, I put one right on top of the stalk. And they're spaced out and sort of staggered. Okay, so I'm going to do, I think 8 wraps would cover that distance. And I made the mistake of I thought I'd put some beeswax on it, keep the threads from splitting apart, keep them together. Big mistake. Don't use beeswax with bullion knots. It was an icky, sticky mess. Okay, this one I'm going to go up here a little bit higher. And right to there. Oh yeah. The other thing is, when the first one that I did, I had a milliner's needle that was a little bit bigger. I don't know what the sizes are of these. I mean, I kept the packaging. I can't really tell the difference. And I don't put them back when I'm done, like in the package, so that I know which one it was. Might be nice if I was that organized. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay, so there's a lot to do on this. Oh my gosh, but it's coming together pretty nice. Now, I did want to say that um, even though it's been about an hour, that's just the magic of the internet. Um, it's been about 3 days for me. Of course, I've done other things. I can't just stitch all the time. I do have to, feed the cat and clean and cook and watch YouTube. I'm watching um, Downton Abbey again because I like it. All right. So next, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Next, I don't know. I'll be back. Well, here it is. Um, I added, and I'm sorry I didn't do it on camera, but they're just little colonial knots, and this is a just some straight stitches. I added in a few detached chain stitch flowers here, or leaves here and there, and some. I did another, like a little half a daisy there, some little French colonial knot flowers. Um, you can do French knots if you prefer. Um, I wanted to share with you. This is a piece that I did a couple years ago before YouTube, when I first got her first book, the Seaside one, and then I added this lettering. But this was an 18-inch piece of linen that I used, and then there was another 2 inches around it. I had to cut it down to fit in the book. That's where I got this linen from. And then I had the linen for the twinchies was also from this. And it came from Needle in a Haystack. And there's the website needlestack.com. And this is the fabric, Legacy. I can't read that, but the color is Aesthetic White. And there's the item number. I'm going to leave that there for a second so you can take a photo if you'd like. And then this is another one of my favorite things that's going in my book. This is a watercolor that I did a while ago, and a book, one of my favorite books. When I got it, it was just coming apart. And so I decided to just take it apart and use some of the pages. And then this is going in the book. This came from Inspiration Studios, and I just love that. So that's going to go in my book as well. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching to the end. Be sure to hit the like button. Join me on Facebook. I posted this on Facebook with a little story about my little Volkswagen Bug. And thanks for watching. Bye.